Welcome to Back Pass with Ras, and this is your host Ras, bringing to you a May Day special, wishing you all a happy Labor Day wherever you are, and also the Singaporeans getting ready for polling day coming soon. So choose wisely, I would say. Um, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify, you already know who the guest is, but he still deserves a grand introduction. And this is a person that has been widely requested by our listeners and our viewers. He is also a person regarded as one of the best ever players to play in Singapore for the Singapore national team, one of the best ever Singaporeans to play football. Always mentioned whenever people ask who's your best player, best Singaporean player, it's none other than Mr. V. Sundramoorthy, an absolute legend, I must say. Thank you, Sundram, for appearing on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. And I'm really flattered that the fans still remember me. And I'm really honored to be in the show, sharing my experience.
Yeah, they do. Actually, I want to say as well, before we commence any further, the requests have been coming that, hey, interview Sundram, hey, interview Sundram. Then I always like, I hear people say, Sundram is a bit reserved. He might not want the limelight. So I was a bit apprehensive. I was a bit guarded. Maybe respect your privacy a bit. This time I just took a chance. I just asked you and see what you say. At most, you might say no. And thankfully, you said yes. So I'm really delighted that you have agreed to be on the show.
I mean, I'm really happy to be on the show because I've been off the limelight for a long time. I just want to say hi to my fans and to everyone back home.
Yeah. Okay. And Sundram, you're all the way in Laos right now. So can you just flash back to the first time you arrived in Laos to work there? How was it like? What are the challenges you faced?
Okay, I arrived in 2018 as national coach. We were preparing for the Suzuki Cup. And I had a very short period to prepare the team, and I felt that most importantly, the challenges I faced definitely was the language barrier. So the players, 90 to 95%, can't speak English. So I needed a good football translator.
Okay.
So that the message will be transferred to the players accurately.
Okay. If I'm not wrong, you had some staff with you that was Singaporean as well?
Yes, during the Suzuki Cup, I think 2018, Fidaus Kasman. Sorry,
Okay.
Fidaus Kasim.
Okay, Fidaus Kasim. Okay.
He's with,
Selvaraj was with you also?
say again?
Selvaraj, was he with you as well?
He joined me later.
All right.
For that edition, Fidaus Kasim was there with me. Now he's with the Sailors.
Okay, yes. And talking about life in Laos, how's life like in Laos for you? Accommodation provided by the FA, I believe.
Okay, the accommodation, we were given a budget. I mean, we can choose our accommodation. And there are nice apartments here, comparable to what we have back home.
Okay.
And then, and it's much cheaper.
And the pace of the life, is it slower down there?
Definitely much slower. And we are always engaging with Lao people. I feel that they are very nice and they are very down to earth, very helpful, and was easy for me to blend with them. And for me to drive, it's Singapore is right hand. This is left hand drive.
Oh, okay.
We drive on the other side of the road. So whenever I come back to Singapore to drive, I need to get adjusted.
Yeah.
To the road and all that.
And have you picked up the language?
bit and pieces. I can get away with the ordering of food, on the field, giving some instruction to the players, to the coaches. They understand me, and we also communicate through using technology. It's an easier way to do it.
Any favorite Laotian food?
Oh, this is Laotian food is quite close to Thai food.
Okay.
So I think you ever heard of the sticky rice and then the steamed fish and all that, and papaya salad. So these are some nice dishes which I enjoy. Lao food.
Do you miss the dishes at home from Singapore?
Definitely, bro. Definitely. All the nasi padang, the Indian curries and all that, the pratas and all. Definitely we miss it.
Do you get those kind of food down there? The maybe not exactly Singaporean food, but maybe Indian food.
Yeah, we get Indian food. We have a Malaysian restaurant, Indian restaurant. Even you can get the nasi lemak, even you can get the roti canais and all that. But different quality compared to Malaysia and Singapore.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right. So enjoying life in Laos now?
It's beautiful here because not too many bosses to report. I report directly to my president. So I'm very pleased and happy to work this way.
All right, nice. Would you recommend Laos as a destination, holiday destination for people?
100%. It's really less people are visiting Laos because they really don't know what they can get out of it. I think the many provinces here offer a lot of what you call where you can do adventures like camping. You can do the zip line. You can go to the waterfall. So many activities in the provinces where you just need to take a train or you just need to fly to the provinces to enjoy all the facilities there.
Okay. All right. Nice. So now let's go all the way back to your formative years when you were a young boy, your childhood years. Who influenced you to pick up football?
So for me, my main influence was my dad.
Okay.
And he used to bring me to his matches. He was playing every weekend, or he plays for his team in the shipyard. And then I used to follow him and then play behind the goal. And that's where I picked up the game seriously.
Okay. Was this the Business House League at that time or just friendly matches that he played?
It's a dockyard league where they play with each other. Okay. And seven-a-side, those days, seven-a-side was so popular. And they will have it in Farrer Park, in Serangoon Gardens, in Sembawang. So I used to follow him around over the weekend and just play behind the goal and enjoy myself.
Okay. And everyone knows, I think you're a Sembawang boy. Grew up there?
Yes, definitely.
And where do you spend your schooling years?
Oh, okay. Interesting. So my schooling years also, I was in Canberra School. It's based in Sembawang. And my secondary school was Upper Thomson Secondary School.
Okay.
I think it's now don't exist anymore, I think.
Yeah.
This was my studying years,
Okay. How were you in school?
Not a great student, but I will attend the classes. I will not miss the classes. But my mind and my focus were on football. I come to school maybe 2 hours early just to play the game before the class starts. And then during the break, even 20-30 minutes, we will kick around. And after school, we go home, we get changed, and come back for school training.
Oh.
So, there was a lot of contact time with the ball. And we keep playing and we learn by playing.
Okay.
So we develop this way.
So is that how you molded into the player that you are, the flamboyant dribbler that we know you to be?
I
Is that
mean,
where you came from?
I think that is where I really started off. Lah. I must agree with you because there were no coaches telling you what to do. So you decide how you're going to play. So we improve our decision making, how when to dribble, when to pass, and when to shoot at goal. So all these were part of my growing up years.
Okay. You represented school, I'm sure.
Yes, I did for both my schools.
Okay. Were there things like Milo, the Milo scheme and all that? Did they kick in by then? Not yet, right?
Yes, yes, I played for
Okay, it's
Milo.
only there.
My team is Defford Ground. Under
Okay.
Defford Ground, we played for the Milo.
Ah, nice. And any memories of watching football on TV or in the stadiums?
I mean, there's a lot of memories. I used to go for the Malaysia Cup games, because we idolize all the players those days. We are in school and, every week hearing the radio, watching the highlights,
Ah,
we really idolize. So, opportunity to go with my uncle to watch the games. I will catch all the favorite players playing at Kalang.
hmm. Any favorite players from that time? In the local context, Malaysia Cup days. Any favorite players for you?
I really enjoyed Dola, Matno, and S. Rajagopal. All these players really stood out during those years.
Hmm. Nice. And when you talk about international football, any favorite football club?
Okay, I'm a Liverpool fan for a long time. Started from the 80s till now,
Okay.
and we are going to win the title soon.
Yeah, probably by the time this episode is out, I think you would have won the title. Yes, true.
That would be great icing on the cake for Liverpool for this season.
Yeah. And any favorite footballer?
I mean, definitely Maradona hands down.
Uh,
I used to follow him throughout his journey when he played for Napoli, played in the World Cup and all that. The way he carried himself on and off the pitch is amazing.
did you try to emulate his style in any way when you were playing?
I mean, we always try the tricks what he has done,
Hmm.
but he definitely do it better. Lah.
Okay, for sure. Do you remember your first World Cup that you watched?
First World Cup, I think it's 1982.
Ah, okay, okay.
It's
Italy.
Italy winning the World Cup and
Yeah,
Paolo Rossi
correct. Hat trick
hat trick in the
against
final.
Brazil. Against Brazil, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, nice. Now let's get to your time with the Singapore national team. So this will encompass the whole time you spent with the Singapore national team, including the time in the Malaysia League and when you're playing in the SEA Games, regional tournaments like SEA Games. You have your AFC Cup qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, all of that. I understand you broke into the national team in 1983 at the age of 18. I wasn't even born that time. I wasn't even born. I was born a year after that. So tell me about the memory. First of all, about getting spotted. How do you break into the team? How were you spotted? Who spotted you? Or were you offered a chance to join the team?
Okay. I was spotted by Jita Singh,
Okay.
and he was the national coach then.
Mm.
And then he contacted my club coach. It was, I think, if not mistaken, Bernard Norbert, and Tampines, Mr. Justin Moraes was there.
Ah,
So Justin works for Tampines, and at the same time, he helps the national team then.
mm.
So that is one way where I was called up, and the rest is history.
Nice. You were playing for Tampines Rovers
Yes, Tampines Rovers, yeah.
in NFL.
NFL, yeah, Division 1.
Nice. Okay. Now going into national team, when you entered into the national team, okay, before that as well, when you got your call up, what was your reaction of your family to your first call
Well,
up?
my dad supports me a lot, and he was very delighted.
Okay.
Same goes for my mom, my sisters. So everybody really congratulated me and motivated me
Mm.
to. I was only 17 years, 5 months, so I don't know whether I was ready. So because of their motivation, I just gave it a shot.
Okay, so now when you enter the dressing room, I'm sure some of these players were your heroes. You watched them play in the Malaysia Cup days. What was it like for you to enter that dressing room? Were you afraid? Um, were there anything they did to you, like maybe they teased you, gave you a nickname or stuff like that, give you a bit of a rough treatment to see how you react?
I was really nervous going into the changing room, and players like Malekawap and Aoyong Pakwang, I think they gave me the support and confidence
Mm.
to move on, you see.
Okay.
So
Malik
I
should be
started,
around your age.
no, Malik is about 7, 8 years older than me, about 5 years older than me.
Okay.
Aoyong is about 6, 7 years older than me.
Okay. But they were about your age then.
Yeah.
Okay. Was Fandi around in that squad as well?
Fandi was playing abroad in Groningen.
Okay.
So he will come in for some international games and all that, like SEA games and all that. He will join us.
Mm. Okay. So what was your first training session like? Anything that the senior players expected you to do? Because this point I feel is important to speak about, because probably nowadays you don't get that kind of treatment anymore. We hear a lot about this when with the older players, sometimes some kind of ragging, or nowadays they will call it bullying, that went on. But it was probably like an initiation of phase, I would say. Coming in as a newbie, they probably will test you, test your spirit, test your character, see what you're made of.
Actually, it wasn't so much of bullying. It's about the young players. You need to do your due diligence work for the senior players. Lah. I mean, you pump the balls, you get the balls out, beeps out, drinks out, and then once training is over, you collect everything and put it back into the store. So it was a norm for young players to learn the trade and eventually move on, you see.
Okay. Were you the only young player, or was there someone else
So
as
myself
young as
and
you?
Razali Rashid, I don't know if you know him, but he was 1 year younger than me.
Wow, even younger.
Yeah, even younger than me. So he's the first one on the line, and I'm the second one. So we
Okay.
will make sure that things get done. You see.
Okay, okay. And besides that as well, anyone gave you a hard time in the training?
On the field, yes, I think it wasn't easy in training.
Mm.
It was tough adapting to the intensity and the senior players. So it took some time to adapt to that.
Okay. And I understand you were preparing for the 1983 SEA Games held in Singapore. Talk to us about that, because I think you had quite a magical start to life with the national team.
Yeah, it was one of my best memories. So, we were preparing for the first game against Malaysia, and the heroes where I saw them playing my growing up years, I'm going to play against them. So it was like sleepless nights and very
Who were these
excited about
players?
the match.
Who were the players?
In goal, it was Arumugam, the
Ah,
Spider-Man.
okay, okay.
And then we had Sochinan, we had Santok Singh, and then more senior players. Even Zainal Abidin was there. So
Moqtadari, was he there?
Mokhtar, no. Mokhtar didn't play in that games.
Okay.
I think he retired then, retired from national
All
team.
right. Okay. So tell us about the match against Malaysia.
Okay, so I mean, definitely you've been marked by the big Samtok, and Chinan is as cool as ever with the ball. So we were first half it was 1-1.
Okay.
Fandi scored the first goal, and Malaysia equalized, and the last 15-20 minutes I scored the winning goal.
Wow.
I saw the 60,000 crowd. The whole stadium could have collapsed. So it was my one of my great feelings. That it was really difficult for me to explain, but I managed to score the goal.
And your family was in the crowd?
Yes, my dad was there.
Okay.
My sisters and mom was watching on TV.
TV, oh, nice. So, proud moment for the family then.
Yes, it was live, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. And how did the team do in the SEA Games that year?
We managed to go to the final. We lost 2-1 to Thailand in the finals.
Thailand was always strong, huh?
Those days, yes, but sometimes we need to overcome them in a different way, but we couldn't.
Okay. Would you say then after the joy of that first game, the defeat in the final would be like a big disappointment for you?
I mean, if it was a victory, we have won the gold medal. It would have been the first gold medal ever Singapore won for soccer in the SEA Games.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but disappointed, but very happy that I was given an opportunity to represent the country.
Okay. Now, talking about your time with the Singapore team in the 1980s, playing in the Malaysia League, what was your experiences like? What's the highest achievement Singapore had in those years?
Okay, in '85 I was in NS, so I couldn't play in the Malaysian League and the Malaysia Cup. At '86 I made a comeback, and if I clearly remember, I think we finished second in the league. I have to recall this. Okay. I'm not sure. And semi-finals in the Malaysia Cup, and I scored 18 goals that season. So it was a good season for me.
All right. Now, fast forward 10 years after 1983. Now, this is something I will remember because by then I was born, I got my footballing awareness already. 1993, the Singapore Dream Team. Everyone still talks about it till today. You entered now as one of the star players. First of all, how did that move happen, for you to come back to play for the national team? What convinced you to come back?
Okay, as for me, then the GM of the national team, I think the general manager of the national team was Patrick Ang. He was instrumental in getting me back to the dream team. Okay. And Mr. P and Sivaji too.
Okay. And what convinced you? What did they tell you that that convinced you to join?
Because the way he built the team, I think the way Sivaji managed to sign players like Fandi, Abbas, Alistair, Jangju, and then Malik was there, Abdul Malik in goal, Razali Saad was there, Kadi was up and coming. So we saw the squad, and I feel that it's got good potential to go very far.
And when you entered the squad now you're a senior player. Previously, you're a youngster. Did you give out advice to the young players? Tell them, give them some tips?
I mean, definitely yes, because there were many young players in the squad, like Saswadi, like Rafi Ali. Rafi was a very talented player. And then even Tongai was up and coming. And these are the young players who were actually moving up the ladder. So we definitely gave them good support so that they can play well in match to match.
Okay. And you are a person that leads by example or likes to speak a lot in the dressing room?
Oh, I don't speak speak a lot at all. I'm more reserved and focused on my game and try to achieve something on the field. And then always we are trying to say that, okay, let my feet do the talking. You know?
Okay. So when it comes to giving advice, is it the way that they would approach you for the advice, or would you go forward and tell these young guys, hey, you should do this, you do that?
I mean, definitely they will not approach that because they are young, and on the field during training, we will definitely
Ah,
advise them how to move about and
mm,
enjoy the game. You know?
all right. The team spirit was very strong.
Yes, 100%. We
Are you guys
were
all
close
friends?
knit.
Are you guys all friends till today?
Yes, definitely. I met up Fandi during the BYD event. I think he's
Uh-huh.
doing well in Pahang and preparing for the Malaysia Cup final.
Yes, yes. That's going to happen. That has happened actually when this episode comes out. Um, do you remember the song that you all sang?
Yes, I can't forget that song.
How was that experience for you, for a person who's so shy and reserved, and then I expect you to go and sing a song? How was that for you?
Because the whole team is singing, and it was easier lah, to
Okay,
just
okay,
get on board and then do my part for the CD to be created. You know.
okay. And at this point, would you say you were at the height of your popularity?
I think so because I used to go to schools and give some talks and all that. The reception I get is amazing, amazing.
Were you a bit? How do you deal with it as a person whose personality is a bit reserved?
I mean, like for the fans, they stop you and ask you for photo. Hardly we have handphone then.
Yeah,
For autographs, they bring the Singapore jerseys to be signed and all that, and then they have their cameras taking some shots of me and them together. So was actually stopped a lot on the streets, in the restaurants,
okay.
and I enjoy it because they really value my performances.
Mm. This at this point also, you had a lot of endorsements.
Yes, a bit here and there.
Okay. Um, I got to also talk to you about your hair, your hairstyle at that time. It's a bit. The thing is, we talk about Sundram. That number 18 jersey is synonymous with you. Your hairstyle is also synonymous with you. The mullet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That one. How much time do you spend to keep it in shape?
Wow. Keeping long hair is actually maintaining it is also another area you have to spend time on and all that. But when you go onto the field, you are different from many players.
Hmm.
So the number 18 and the long hair is my trademark lah. You can call it.
Yeah. The other thing people remember you for would be the bicycle kick goal you scored. Talk to us that through that moment when the cross came in, was your first instinct just to do a bicycle kick, or was it because the cross was a bit behind you, so you had no choice, you had to improvise?
Oh, okay. I mean, like what you said, the cross was behind me. I have to improvise, and I've been practicing it. It's not like it
Hmm.
comes overnight; just comes during the match.
Hmm.
I used to practice a lot, and it worked on that day.
Nice. Now this why did the time with Singapore end during the after 93? Or rather, actually, before that, the season that you had, okay, there was a lot of hype around the team. Everyone was so happy watching you guys play. But at the end of the day, the results was you were second in the league. You did get promoted into Division One, but in the Malaysia Cup final, I remember losing that final to Kada on a rainy
Yeah,
day in
yeah.
Merdeka Stadium. I still remember that. Um, Would you say that that the season had a disappointing end?
I mean, for me, with the team we had, I felt that not winning the league, given another chance in the Malaysia Cup final, and not winning the final, it's it's a disappointing season. But as players, we must take responsibility and grow from there. So that is something I have learned, and I believe that there will be another time, another team where we can improve ourselves.
Okay. And how did your time with the Singapore team, this Singapore FA team in the Malaysia League end?
Okay, I moved on to
Kelantan.
Kelantan,
Yeah.
94, and we had an amazing team also in Kelantan. So the local boys were so talented. Then we had Marco Krelovic with me,
Oh,
and another Australian defender, Jerry Gomez. So we had a strong team, and then we were always top three in the league.
mm-hmm.
And then one incident in Kuala Lumpur ruined everything. There was a free for all, and many of my players got suspended.
Okay. We'll speak about your time in Malaysia later, but the move basically Kelantan made an offer and then you took the offer.
Yes, yes. Sabah and Kelantan were two teams offered me then,
Mm.
So I think Sabah was also a nice place, and I took Kelantan because I felt that we had a better team then. So I
Okay.
joined Kelantan without any hesitation.
You didn't think about staying on for another year with the Singapore FA team and maybe seeing you could better what you did in 93.
No, this move was already done after the game. The final whistle was done at Merdeka Stadium. So the
Oh,
deal was done. It was too good a deal to
or
turn things around. We are professionals, and we don't have a long runway.
okay.
And I feel that just maximize what you have in the
Mm,
next 2-3 years or 5 years.
okay. And in your time with Singapore, what would you say was the best achievement and the biggest disappointment playing for Singapore in the Malaysia League and Cup?
For you mean playing for Singapore?
Yes.
Okay, playing for Singapore in the league, like we have finished runners up in 1993 and runners up in the Malaysia Cup final. But the thing I remember for 1993 is my five man of the match award, which I received at the National Stadium.
Oh,
Out of maybe 10 home games or 9 home games or 11 home games. So almost 50 to 50%, I think is a good success rate.
yes, indeed. That's very high, quite a high ratio. That's nice. Well done. Now we come back to your time with the national team when national team is playing in the SEA Games, in the Asian Cup qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers. Do you remember a time where you had a very good experience with the national team? Which
I
one's
mean,
a tournament or a game that stands out in your mind?
there are many games which stands out. I feel that I participated in 5 SEA Games actually for Singapore,
Even
and
93 in Singapore. So,
yes, we managed to get 3 silver
mm,
and 1 bronze from my side, and I feel that we missed the goal.
yeah,
That's that's the irony of football. You see.
that's your disappointment, I guess.
Really, if we have won the goal, I think that will be the best thing could have happened to Singapore football.
Which of these teams that you felt came closest to winning the goal?
I thought it was in 1989, probably in Malaysia.
Yeah,
I thought we had a good team, and we were 1-1, and then the pitch was not
wet
in
again.
good condition, wet condition, and all that, and then things didn't go for us. You see.
Mm, okay. And out of all the national teams that you've played, all the different editions of the national teams that you've played, which you feel is the strongest that you played for?
Okay, as for us, I think in the mid 80s, we had quite a decent team.
Mm.
We had players in every position actually. We had
Mm.
David in goal, and then we had K Kanan, we had Fandi, Tupijan, and we had Malik and all that. I think it was one of the strongest. I can say it's around mid 80s.
Mid 80s, okay. And from the national, okay, this just encompasses everything, national team or the Malaysia League and Cup. Who you felt you had a very good combination with on the pitch?
I mean, for me, I play well with Fandi because he understands my game, and then we can click with one another very easily on the pitch.
Okay. And that will also bring me to my question. What's your relationship like with Fandi? Was there rivalry between the two of you?
Not really rivalry, but he is a top player and very popular and all that. So for me, I'm different with my long hair and number 18 trademark and all that. So we were all different characters, lah. Different
Different
characters.
personalities, right?
Different. I think the word personality suits better. So different personality, and he's got amazing following. And what I felt that what I can do on the pitch is create goals for him, assists. This is what I always wanted to do.
Mm. Do you remember who are the strongest opposition defenders that you have faced?
For me, during the Malaysia Cup days, I think Alan Davison was quite a complete player,
Mm.
and it was not easy getting past him. And he's so composed and so comfortable with the ball, like a modern player. And I think it was quite a challenge playing against him.
Okay. And internationally, when you're playing for the national team?
I mean, for national team internationally, when you play the Middle East teams, when you play against Koreans, all that it's really very demanding. Physically, they are very strong. They get stuck in, and it's really very challenging.
Okay. Now let's move to your time in Malaysia. The move to Kada, how did that move come about?
Okay, I was playing in Switzerland at that time. I moved from FC Basel to Old Boys of Basel, and during one of the match, I saw a Malaysian Dato watching the game. His name is Dato Basri lah. He's from Kedah. He's a friend of the businessman who brought me to Switzerland.
Okay.
So after the game, it was a short meeting, and I was offered to move to Kedah. So knowing me, I wanted to be in a comfort zone because it was challenging in Europe with the physical game and the weather and all that. So when this offer came, I thought, Malaysia, I can be more at home and I can go back to Singapore frequently to visit my family. So I just jumped on it.
Okay. And you had a good time in Kada?
Excellent. 89, I was there. We went into the finals. We lost. 1990, we won. We were the champions of Malaysia.
And that one, you beat Singapore in that final.
Yes, mixed feeling when this happened, and it was very difficult to express myself.
Yes, that's what I'm going to ask you. I'm sure you'd have known the Singaporean players as well. So before the game, was there any banter being shared between you and them? Any, they were they saying anything to you?
I mean, it's always everyone is playing for their team, and there will be always things on the pitch and off the pitch lah. There will be always a lot of things done on and off the pitch. But the main thing was who delivers on the night.
Yeah.
That was I felt that it's very important. And that night I belonged to Kada, and was very difficult for me to celebrate after the victory. Really very difficult because sea of Singapore fans were on one side, and
Yeah.
it's a bit emotional.
Okay. Okay. It was tough for you. Toughest defeat. Sorry, toughest victory to celebrate.
Exactly.
Was that the best team you played for in the Malaysian League, the Kada
No, I
team?
thought Kedah was okay. Not the I can't say it's the best team, but it's a team where it's a lot of players who are 100% committed and work very hard. So it's a different attributes the players have.
Any
Not
standout players on the Kada team that you can share with us?
say again.
Any standout players from the Kada team?
Okay, we had especially I must mention my goalkeeper. His name is Azmi Mahmood. He was amazing. He was two class above. So that he's one of the reason we won also.
Okay. And in that Kada team, where I talked about the gel, you gelling with Fandi, with Singapore. Anyone you gelled with very well at Kada?
I had a foreign player who was a midfielder, central midfielder. His name was Rincic Batislav from Yugoslavia.
Okay.
Before they call it Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
So he was the one who supplies me the ammunition,
Ah,
and then for me to finish the attack.
okay. Nice. Now from Kedah, you moved to Pahang, and this is before Singapore's dream team. This was the original dream team, I would say.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
How did this move come about?
Okay, this is a very interesting move. I was contacted by the royalty, and met up with him. And then the offer to move there is cannot be resisted. Is unresistible. So I just took the flight and signed the contract.
And in this team, you had some Singapore counterparts as well.
Yes, I played with Fandi, Zainal, Dola, Ahmad Yusof. I think they are all in Malaysia. They are legends, and Fandi joined me, and we had really a good team.
The late Borhan Abu Sama, was he there as well?
It was 92.
92.
I played in 91.
Okay. And that time in Kedah, in Pahang, how that go?
Okay, the year 91, we finished second in the league, and then we lost in the semi-finals. Then 92, I was out and back in Singapore. That's where Borhan came in, and they signed Alan Davidson and all that. Then they went on to win double championship.
And then you moved to Kelantan after your time in Singapore. You already spoke a bit about the time with Kelantan. That you mentioning about that free for all. What happened there?
Oh, this was at Merdeka Stadium, and
Against KL.
No, against Selangor.
Selangor. Okay.
We playing against Selangor, and it's the same thing lah. The tackles goes in, and then the players jumping in, and my goalkeeper from 40 meters running in and
Oh my God.
getting into fighting, fist fight, and all that. So it was a bit challenging time for us because we lost I think 5 to 6 first 11 players in that scuffle.
How long was the ban?
The season, they couldn't come back.
Oh my God. That's bad. That's brutal.
And
were you involved in the free for all?
no. I wasn't involved, luckily. Luckily, I wasn't involved. I was trying to just help out. And what I felt that that was the turning point of our season because we were top 2 or top 3. We were catching Singapore. We were catching Singapore, and we beat the previous week, we beat Selangor 4-1 in Kota Baru.
Oh.
And we were going to Selangor for the return match. We were leading 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. We were leading 2-1. And the next game after Selangor is Singapore.
Oh.
In Kota Baru. So
in Kota Baru, okay.
We already planned in a way that, okay, after this game, the Selangor in Merdeka, even we can get a point. We go against Singapore in Kota Baru, I think we will win. With this team, I feel that we had a very good chance. Then what happened after the suspension? Then we had young players coming in and all that. We lost 3-2 in Kota Baru.
Close game as well.
Yeah. But the atmosphere there is amazing. The stadium is full, and they are very passionate people.
What was your fondest memory playing in Malaysia?
Okay, as for me, there are many memories, and I love the atmosphere, the crowd. Whenever we play home or away, this money can't buy. You feel like a player. When you change in the changing room, the crowd is already ready. You go out to play and people are cheering for you. You feel like a player when the crowd is there. That is something which I will cherish.
Do you feel that was missing in Singapore during your time?
During the league, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, in the league, during the older days in NFL, there not much crowd and all that. But the beginning of the S League was amazing. I felt that was a really a good model where we have started. I go to Woodland Stadium, is full. I go to National Stadium, we can get 30,000 crowd watching Geylang and Woodlands play. So it creates a good atmosphere and the players will be motivated.
And when in your time in Malaysia, do you face any difficulty settling into life there?
Not really. I think Malaysia and Singapore lifestyle
very similar.
Very similar.
Kelantan's quite different though.
Kelantan, the language a little bit. You need to double check with the boys what they are saying. But still can live with it. Still can live with it and move on with it.
Okay. So overall, a very good time in Malaysia, you say?
Fantastic. The 4 years I had in Malaysia is really good memories for me. And then the 18 months or 16 months in Basel was also made me grow. Not in football, but as a person.
Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the time in Switzerland. How did that move come about for you to join Basel?
There's a businessman by the name of Jeffrey. He's initially from Penang, but he settled down in Switzerland a long time ago. He travels a lot, and he has some restaurant in business in Basel. So he was in Singapore. Then he definitely recommended, and he watched some of the Malaysia Cup games and gave me an opportunity to go and try in Basel.
Okay, so you went for a trial then?
Yes, I went for a trial.
You went trial, made it when they were impressed by what you did?
Yes, in a way. So they gave me a short contract, and I tried to do my best there with whatever the surrounding is.
Yeah. Now talking about the surroundings, how was life in Switzerland?
Well, it was different world, totally different world. You grew up in Singapore and you're 21 years old, and you land in Switzerland. It was snowing.
Were you prepared for the snow?
In a way,
your clothes.
Yes, in a way, no. I mean, this is the first time, So we have some clothes bought in Singapore and bring them, but which is not sufficient.
Too cold.
Too cold, too cold. Then we bought some stuff in Switzerland to make sure that it can keep me warm. And in the changing room, you need to wear tracksuit bottom, tracksuit top, pullovers for training. And it's something different. And the trial taken place for I stayed there for 3 weeks for trials and went back, came back and signed the contract.
Were you, when you went to Switzerland, were you occupied by any family member, accompanied by any family members?
No, I went there alone.
Alone?
And I stayed in the apartment myself.
And when you signed the contract with Basel, how do you overcome the difficulties then? Because now you are staying there on a longer period as opposed to previously when you were on trial only.
Okay, so step by step, learn how to drive there, and then be independent. Because Mr. Jeffrey had a restaurant, so I can dine there, you see. So it was an Indian restaurant, so food was great. So that part is taken care of.
Yeah.
And now I'm just enjoying Switzerland.
Language, what was it? What was the language spoken? Because I know Switzerland, certain parts speak Italian, certain part speaks German, certain part French. So it's very mixed.
They speak Swiss German.
Swiss German.
Yeah, so I was trying to catch up a bit, but the time was too short. I had to leave.
Do you remember any of those words from that time?
You can say thank you, basic things like thank you, like that.
What's thank you? What's thank you in Swiss German?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Okay. Enough to get you by life in Switzerland?
He can speak a bit of English. Mix a bit, so you can get by.
Now, in terms of football, what was the level like in the Swiss league?
Oh, it's very physical. The level was very physical, and they really get stuck in. So it was tough initially. Given not much space to maneuver, and because I'm technically, my game is about finding space and using my technique to hurt the opponent. You see.
Yeah.
But they close down fast, and then they are bigger, stronger. It was a bit of challenge.
And the pitches, how was the pitches like?
The stadium pitches, the game pitches are excellent. In training, it's a bit challenging because the pitches are heavy. So you really need to use a lot of energy to finish the training.
And this time in Switzerland, how you feel you develop as a player? Do you do a lot of physical work as well in the gym to toughen yourself up, strengthening?
We have gym sessions with the club, and then mainly is sessions on the pitch. So they have their programs and all that. So we just make sure we are there to do our best. That's important.
You did do any extra work then?
During the off days, I used to go for extra runs or one day extra in the gym during the off days. Try to improve myself.
Any famous players you played against?
I remember playing against Alan Brazil. I don't know you know him.
Oh yes, Alan Brazil. Yeah, I know him.
Alan Brazil. If I'm not mistaken, Carl Sainz Rummenigge, I think we played against him. So I have to recall that part. But I saw him in Switzerland. He was playing in one of the clubs.
Good memories. You had a time at a second club as well, right? Old Boys.
Yes, Old Boys of Basel.
How did that move come about?
Because it's the same city, and after the 6 months in Basel, I moved to Old Boys of Basel for a year. So FC Basel was in the playoff of the League One, and Old Boys of Basel was in the League Two.
Oh, okay. So we went down a division. Do you notice much of a difference in the standard?
Not really. If you play League Two, it's more challenging than League One. League One, you have technical players, skillful players, you have time, but League Two is more physical.
Hmm.
So you need to adapt to the physicality of the game.
You were mentioning that your time in Switzerland helped you develop as a person as well. How did it help you develop?
I
What are the
mean,
attributes you brought
in
forward?
Singapore, everything is made for you. You know, you go home, your mom is there, your sis is there, they settle everything for you. But now you need to make sure that when you're home, you have to settle your laundries, you need to settle your food, you need to drive on the other side of the road, you know, all this, and then manage your time and all that. You know, it gives you time to think about it, and I feel that you can grow from there, you know, being more independent.
Mhm. Nice. So that brings us to the end of part one of this episode. Part two will be coming out next week, and in part two, we'll be talking about Sundram's time in the S League and his time as a coach. So see you next week.
See you.